How do I cure snoring and sleep apnea? Poor Sleep investigates if there is a cure for both sleep apnea and snoring. First of all, I think I should give you a little note about my own personal health. As you know, I recommend several products to help relieve the symptoms of snoring and sleep apnea, as poor sleep and the fatigue that comes after it can really ruin your life. Now, as people may know, I do have a CPAP machine, and I have been very rude about it at times because it can be a right monster when the mask doesn't sit comfortably. However, I don't use it every day any longer. I don't need to. I only really use it now when my asthma is bad or my hay fever is really running away. In other words, I only use it at times when my airways are already constricted and I'm having trouble getting enough oxygen into my blood. In fact, the last time I used it consistently for a week was back in the early part of 2020 when I got very ill, and although I wasn't tested at the time, I think I probably had a brush with the pandemic. I spent every night for a week linked to my CPAP machine, and the pressurized air definitely helped me. On a side note, my brother also had a brush with it and spent the same length of time I did, but he was sitting in the bathroom attached to his bedroom with the shower running all night, so that he was in a very steamy atmosphere, and that warm, moistured air relieved his symptoms. Now, as you know, I do recommend several products, but I recommend them because I actually have a confidence in what they are, and I know we all react differently, and what worked for me might not work for other people, so I've tried to recommend a range of things to give everybody the best chance of finding something that worked for them. What causes snoring and sleep apnea? Some people think that they are actually two aspects of the same condition, and although they have a lot in common, they're not exactly the same thing. Now, snoring is a harsh sound that emanates from the throat when you're sleeping. We all know that. It's caused when the soft palate sags and partially closes the airway. Snoring is caused by the vibration caused when the air goes through the narrow gap, causing the soft palate to vibrate, which is rather like the way a reed vibrates when you blow air into a woodwind instrument. It's annoying, it can make you tired, it can ruin relationships, but directly it's not often life-threatening. Sleep apnea, on the other hand, normally called obstructive sleep apnea in this case, is where the soft palate sags more and totally closes the airway. When this happens, the brain goes into panic mode and sends a signal that forces the lungs to pull in air, which is the characteristic snorting sound that occurs after a few moments of silence when somebody's just suffered from a sleep apnea incident. Now, that panic from a brain normally causes you to wake up, meaning that you do not get deep restful sleep. Now, sleep apnea can directly cause strokes. It can do an awful lot of nasty things to you, and if you have it, get it treated. It's not in any way a joke, but it is curable. You can do things about it. Now, is there an easy or natural way of treating snoring and sleep apnea? Or do you have to go through the surgery route, or wear implants that force your jaws to move to keep your airways open? Or even spend every evening wired up to a CPAP machine so you're breathing pressurised air? Fortunately, most people can beat it, but it takes time and you have to do things correctly. There is a link at the end of the video to the method that helped me put my machine on the shelf. And if you're interested, I would suggest you look at it, make your own decision. But, I've suffered from it. Occasionally when my asthma or my hay fever is very bad, I still have bouts of it. I know what an absolute and utter horror it is and how it affects your daily life. More than anything else, I hope you sleep well tonight. Take care.